Good morning, Facebook. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome Friday morning. Just out here working away, and as I was working, sometimes just ideas pop in my head, and I just wanted to share this one with you. I thought it's a good lesson and a good moment to, maybe you're on your coffee break, or you're sitting at home hanging out, just scrolling through Facebook, reading all the crazy going on in the world, or funny memes. I like funny memes, but anyway, years ago when I was in about second grade at St. Mary's, Father Pascal comes into the room, and randomly the fathers would come in and just say hi and sometimes teach a lesson, and we didn't know what this was. He was just coming in, really nice gentleman. I think he was probably, I'd say, in his probably early 30s at the time. I just remember him being young, good-looking guy, and but anyway, let me show you this real quick. Let me get my, hopefully you guys can see everything here. So he came up to us and he said, out of these two cups, hopefully you can see it. On your screen it's going to be the right side and then the left side. So if I came up to you and I said, which one of these would you like to drink out of or have? And I remember back then I thought, okay, the one on the right, nice and clean. The one on the left is pretty dirty. But just I've always wanted to do something that's like against what everybody else would do. So I thought, I'll just pick the one on the left. And so he had said, raise your hand if you want the one on the right. So a large majority of the kids raised their hand and they got the one on the right. And then some of us got the one on the left. And if you look at it, this one's all nice and clean. This one's dirty. Has chips over here, and it has like some ooey gooey nasty stuff right here on this side. So anyway, he went with this one, and he said, okay, so you're gonna take the clean one here, and how many of you guys would drink out of it if it looked like that on the inside? And the people that raised their hand, and I was like, at that time I was like, oh man, good thing I didn't choose that cup. But if you look at it, it's all dirty on the inside, right? So then he brought the cup up that I had chosen, and it was all dirty. And then he turned it inside. He said, which one of you guys would drink from this one? And then the whole class was like, me. And I've never forgot this lesson, because I have the scripture in the on this poster. It's on Mathew, I believe it's like chapter 26 verse 23. I believe it's chapter 23 verse 26 through 28. Well, let me just read it to you here real quick, but if you got nothing else that you're doing there. But it says, you blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and plate, and that the outside may be clean. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you look like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly appear beautiful, but within are full of dead bones and uncleanliness. So you also outwardly appear righteous to others, but within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. And some things you just never forget. I remember growing up, I always remember that. And I didn't remember like the word for word of what he was saying in the scripture, but I'll never forget the visual of those cups. And I was so glad I had chose that cup that was clean. I didn't know that it was clean on the inside. I was just like, well, everybody's going to probably choose the clean one. I'll go with the dirty one. And this is my lesson for people that know me and probably see me often, probably even on these videos. You see, everything I do is for a reason. Everything I do is for, I don't have some sort of like hidden agenda of who Jaime is. Usually, if you see me on video, you see me, I'm not clean cut, I'm not polished, I'm just honestly, whatever comes out of my heart comes out to you, and hopefully you can see that in the camera. Sometimes I do put some pretty crazy little videos out or whatever, and I use apps to try to make the video funny or whatever, but really, if you just get down to the bare minimum of what the videos and the content and anything that I try to share is, there's a reason and a purpose behind what I do and how I do it. So if you ever see me out on the street, you'll probably, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you'll see I have paint. Obviously, I paint every day. And I have my shirts, sometimes they have holes in them, sometimes they don't. And I like to picture myself just like this cup right here. You look at me and you think, dang, this dude, he looks like he needs a shower. And that's okay. I don't mind. Really, I don't mind how people look at me, and that's fine. I'm happy and proud of who I am with God, and that's the only approval that I ever really need, ever, you know. But the lesson of this is that the reason I go out like this is I'm kind of like that cup. I try to be as clean on the inside, which I'm faulty, just like everybody else, extremely faulty. And sometimes, yeah, my heart does go in the wrong direction and think awful thoughts, but that's where I go to Him and I'm like, God, you know who I am, you know how I am, you know what I think, and that's all that matters, you know. But one of the lessons that I wanted to teach is when you see me, and you'll see paint, and you see me, and I look like probably a homeless man trying to run a 1980s marathon, you know. And if you ever see me, I hope you know that there's a reason and a purpose behind the way that I am and how I operate and how I just live my life. I live it to show other people that you don't have to be clean and polished to try to be a good example for other people. And I'm not saying I'm like the model citizen. I'm not. I'm just trying to say that at whatever position that you are in your life, whatever level that you're at, whatever if you're a father, you're single, you're a mother, you're not a mother, you're single, you're whatever that is, always remember that there's a way that you can be clean on the outside, extremely polished and beautiful and shiny, but on the inside you could just be disgusting and just full of hate and awful and just everything that's not good. And then also you could also be just full of like a mental internal cancer where you just think bad thoughts, and sometimes that may be some part of, like, you beat yourself up, you don't and I don't have any of this rehearsed. I'm just telling you how I feel, what's going on. But they're just full of, like, either self-defeat, you just, maybe life has battered you so much that you feel like you're that dirty cup, which you don't have to be. You can change right now and today. But also you could have been raised with maybe some hatred inside of you like that you look like that cup, that you could also, if that hatred or anything that's not good, that can be washed, that could be changed into something completely different. And that starts today. That starts at this moment right now. You can change. Anybody can change, you know. There's so much hate right now in the world that I just wanted to just make a quick video of. I remember that lesson from 2nd grade, and it just has always stuck with me that you might see some people out in the world that look extremely polished. Everything is perfect. Everything is amazing. Everything is, but really on the inside, you're like, I wonder how that person truly is at their core. What is that? What is that? And it's neat because I love to study people. I love to, like, examine and watch and see how they act with other people, and not even just with me. I like to see how husbands are when they're not around their wives. That really tells you a lot about a man, of how he talks about his wife when she's not in the room. And it's funny because, you know, people might look at me and might look at me and say, well, you know, he's jolly, he's funny, or whatever. But I'm not as dumb as you might think I am, and I pay attention to a lot. And my whole life I've had to be that way because growing up in the lifestyle that in the background that I come from, you kind of had to grow up fast and by yourself. You know, I had my family's love, but also you kind of have to grow up quickly. It's kind of like my life started out like a Disney movie, like boom, parent dies, there we go. Now what do we do, you know? But I hope this lesson, you remember these cups, and as you live your life, you remember that it's not what people look like on the outside. It's how they treat you and how they are on the inside. And Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing Friday. I got to get my butt back to work, and I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not anything other than a simple man that loves God. That every day I have no competition in this world other than trying to look in the mirror every morning and think, what can you do today, Jaime, that is better than what you did yesterday? And I'm not saying production wise, I'm not saying like how many things can you build, how many videos can you get on TikTok, how much likes can that does not matter. What matters is, how does Jaime feel that God looks at him the next day from the production of how he was and acted like that day before? And if I wasn't proud of myself, today's a new day. Tomorrow, I'm not going to worry about that because it's not happened yet. I can only worry about what happened today and get it done today. And the only thing that I can control is what I can do mentally and physically. Outside of that, I give it to him. So anyway, hopefully you guys have a great day. Kick some ass. Like I said, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm just a simple human being that loves God and tries to do the best that he can every day. And hopefully somebody else will see this and that you know that you can make a decision to change for the better today at this moment. See you guys.